uncertainty looms like a shadow in the minds of every man, woman, and child. In a time where the future is a thought that many cannot bear. In a time where time is wasted thinking about paying bills rather than who's passing them. In a time when the people of the world no longer feel safe growing up in their own country. When fear of their own governments prevents many from desiring to settle down and raise a family. Pain and suffering are a day-to-day reality for many. Some seek to escape through drugs, alcohol, video games, board games, power games. Do we really understand the big picture? Are we learning to love ourselves? Are we learning to love our neighbor? Children are having children in third world countries and barely scratching together enough to survive, while children are having children in leading nations of the world and being persecuted by their societies. So-called rich countries feel guilt and so-called poor countries feel the pain. Men are leading their own species down the path of self-destruction for self-serving ideas instead of allowing self to serve ideas to destroy the path of greed and corruption. Young people dread going to college, terrified of accruing more and more of an invisible concept, debt. Do you want to know why the B in debt is silent? Because it stands for bullshit. Many are terrified of wealth because of the examples our wealthy have given us. Wealth does not mean greed, but many have been an example for showing us they may be synonymous. When the love of an object is higher than the love of oneself, we must take a deeper look at our world. Our baby boomers are tired. They have mortgages and jobs and are going into their winter years, many still not knowing who they are. This is not the way. The path of self-destruction lies in the ignorance of what or who the self truly is. When we think we are beating down our enemy, we only ravage ourselves. The Russians designed the scorched earth policy to defeat Napoleon, and then again with Hitler. They beat them and destroyed their own land in the process. When your fellow man is so feared you would destroy the planet of your birth just to thwart him, something is wrong. Brothers and sisters, we have a real problem in our society. Many of our parents and predecessors are so terrified of our future, they would rather us fall in line and amass hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt than be beaten in the streets of New York for free. There is paradise coming, though. Stand strong. We are showing them that all their work in the 1960s is coming to fruition. They taught us how to sit in. They taught us how to protest. We've turned their mistakes into our strengths. We've turned their weaknesses into our successes. No, the media can no longer use the battle cry that those that march and protest are pot-smoking hippies, because it isn't true for all anymore. We are organized. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Mothers, fathers, young men and women, old folks, white and black, everything in between are coming together to see the real enemy. And no, the enemy is not a Wall Street banker. The enemy is fear. Fear is what possesses men to steal from entire nations because they are afraid they won't have enough. Martin Luther King knew he may not make it there with us, but his eyes had seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Are you ready to see the glory? Are you ready to see the glory? Love will make you do things. Things that appear crazy to the man who lives by the book of fear. Humanity is coming to a time when we want to try something new. And one thing we haven't yet to try on a massive scale is love. Love means light over vanity and ego. We need more light about each other. Light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and patience creates unity. Malcolm X. Light over vanity and ego. Light over vanity and ego. Light over vanity and ego. This is love. To be able to love, we must be free. You must forget, regret, and experience every moment. We are demanding freedom, but I want to make sure we all know what we're asking for. Freedom is the exemption from external control, interference, or regulation. To add on to that, that means free from any censorship whatsoever. Are you ready for a man to be able to speak any way he chooses without persecution or fear of persecution? Are you ready for a person to have the ability to act, respond, and behave in any way in which they see fit, regardless of the consequences? In our society, the natural filter for truly free behavior has been the fear of punishment. We don't cuss out our co-workers for fear of being fired. We don't say what we want nor act the way we truly feel for fear of being a social leper. We don't hoot and holler in the grocery store for fear of being arrested. We don't refuse to pay our bills for fear of losing our homes. Responsibility is something mankind must acquire if it truly wants to be free. This means owning one's every action, being conscious. But this has no burden on you. This should be no burden. It is quite the opposite. It opens a human being up to the world of infinite reality of choices. Get ready. Be prepared to experience the society you wish to live in and then live it. So live, my fellow human beings. Choose. Choose light over vanity and ego. 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 Light over vanity and ego.